Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I'm JSimLady, or Jen if you prefer. Today I'm going to be reacting to the new gameplay trailer and going over a little bit of information they released on the Sims official Discord. If you haven't been to the Discord, you definitely should check it out. That seems to be where they're predominantly posting all of their updates and information, holding contests, all that kind of stuff. They seem to be heavily focused on the Discord and less so on other social sites these days. So that's the place you want to be. So let's talk about the FAQ that was on the Discord real quick. So the first is just a description of the world again. We've got 3 neighborhoods, which seems to be fairly common. I mean, even the base game has basically 3 neighborhoods. They do include like the big park, think Oasis Springs and Willow Creek. They do include the big park as kind of like its own separate little neighborhood. And I think San Myshuno also has that from City Living. They've kind of gotten away from that. There are a couple of worlds that have only 2 neighborhoods or only 1. Think Glimmerbrook from the Spellcasters expansion pack. But for the most part, generally speaking, it's about 3 neighborhoods. Give or take 1 neighborhood and that big park sort of neighborhood, if that makes sense. So it doesn't seem to be different in that way from any other pack we've gotten with a New World. In this case, they do feel a little bit more like each neighborhood is gonna be very unique, kind of like what we've gotten with Life and Death and Enchanted by Nature, but nothing magical in these ones. Nothing otherworldly, nothing sci-fi like. It's all gonna be very normal, just we're gonna have a wooded area, a crystal valley, which presumably is gonna have crystals all over the place. Think Forgotten Grotto in Oasis Springs, but better, hopefully. And then Jellyfish Bay, I guess? Jellyfish Junction, where the lagoon or the bay or whatever is at that you can catch a jellyfish. So that's the first information they gave us. The next thing is what's new and unique in Adventures Awaits. One of the things we are most excited about in Adventure Awaits, I always do that. I'm so sorry. That is annoying. I catch myself every time and it's like, too late now, I already said it. It's Adventure Awaits is the new level of coming of age experiences and childhood development for some Sims. Build entomology, diving, and archery skills, or play rock, paper, scissors, and hide and seek with other Sims, even imaginary friends. Modular playgrounds. So I was right. It's not a build mode thing. The playground pieces are modular. They're going to fit together like kitchen countertops do. Now give child Sims even more ways to play together and create formative moments. So is moments going to be a new thing in the panel? Because we're getting a lot of things in that panel. I think they need to consider reorganizing that panel. Formative moments, making activities and experiences more meaningful and impacting child Sims' lives and aptitudes. The next thing we have is the new trait. So we're getting 1 new trait, it looks like, and it's competitive. Competitive Sims get a thrill out of challenges and competition depending on their level of competitiveness. So it's going to have different levels. Interesting. Sims can be a good sport or go down the path of being a bad sport. Oh, so is it going to be like a fame thing or even like the fairies or the spellcasters where you can be either using your magic for good or evil? Is it going to have a separate panel like those 3 expansion packs for that kind of stuff? What is it going to come with? That's different. There is 2 new aspirations. Cool Kid on the Block, which is a child aspiration. This aspiration encourages child Sims to be the coolest kid in their neighborhood by completing a list of tasks ranging from having the best collectibles to playing and winning games like hide and seek and rock, paper, scissors. Critter Hunter, which is an adult aspiration, which I find weird. I would think that that would also be a child aspiration. But okay, this new nature aspiration allows entomology aficionado Sims to collect, examine, and enthuse about outdoor critters. Sims can use the butterfly collection and paper crafts to complete tasks for this aspiration and achieve the critter enthusiast trait. Yeah, that seems like something that kids should be able to do too. That's a little weird to me, no? Maybe it's just me. But I feel like I've known more kids who are into bug collecting than adults. Next one up is skills. So the first skill is archery. Sims can hone the archery skill by using the new archery bow and target objects, which makes sense. And this is obviously going to be an all-age thing. Then there's paper crafting. Sims who pick up the paper crafting skill can make paper airplanes, make themed cards, or tell fortunes with cootie catchers as their skill progresses. Entomology. As butterflies flutter about Gibby Point, Sims can catch the butterflies with a net, hold them in the new terrariums, and raise them in an incubator. Nurturing butterflies from the caterpillar stage will increase this skill. I believe there's also moths, which we'll hear about in a few minutes. I've seen the kids also catching the butterflies. So what we read previously with the critter catcher, thing, that's only available to adults, yet the kids can do everything with the butterflies. That's a little bit confusing to me. And then diving. When diving boards are placed near a pool, Sims can practice the diving skill from children through elders. Okay, this one's really annoying. We got those basically what amounts to really weird not diving boards with get together, and they're the only thing that have been in the game with pools. I don't know, maybe we got one when the big base game update for pools happened as well, but I know for sure that the first time we got anything like that was with get together, and it's not a diving board, yet it's used like a diving board in the game. And now we're just not going to acknowledge it. We're just going to pretend it never happened. And we're going to put real diving boards in there and have a diving board skill now. That's a little bit weird, right? It's not just me, right? And there are no new fears, which I find interesting that they brought this up. Why bring it up if there are no new fears? It kind of makes you think, right? And then the last thing I have for you is how do getaways work? Getaways are customizable experiences for Sims seeking a new thrill, complete relaxation, and everything in between. To create a getaway, select a location or create a custom venue for the occasion. Getaways can be scheduled for any length of time, but can also be reoccurring with a set schedule. Select the number of Sims attending, then assign roles for each of the Sims. You can also add role criteria for the roles assigned to Sims. So this kind of sounds like you have to pick Sims that are gonna go on this vacation or getaway with you, and then you can assign someone, like let's say it's gonna be a kids camp. you can assign someone to be the camp counselor or whatever who will take care of the kids while they're there, and then assign a bunch of kids to be the campers. Does that make sense? Also, it seems like this is suggesting that yes, you can schedule fitness classes. And I just got to thinking just now that if that's so, this is not specifying that you have to sleep on the lot. In fact, this is not specifying you sleep on the lot at all, which is a little bit weird. But we'll talk about that after the gameplay trailer, maybe, if we get more information. So I presume that you could set up a getaway lot that would function essentially as a gym, which is weird because now you have gym lots. And, well, I guess that's not weird because not all gyms do classes. So this would be a specific gym lot that would do classes, and you can schedule classes to happen at a specific time. But it wouldn't be scheduled on the lot. It would only be scheduled when your sim goes on a vacation or getaway there and schedules it. Does that make sense? So it's not quite like having a gym with scheduled classes in it. But kinda, sorta. You can pretend anyways. What are custom venues? A custom venue is a new venue type that goes beyond standard venues, i.e. bars and museums, and allows players to set rules and assign roles. Okay, so this is saying to me something different than this up here, and that is you do assign the roles from the venue itself, not from the planned getaway menu. So that maybe you can do both? Maybe you can do both. Maybe you can assign roles from both. If that's the case, then yes, you could potentially set up gym lots that have reoccurring fitness classes that your sims, the classes could happen every single day at 9 a.m., but your sim only goes there like on Tuesdays or Fridays or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That'll be interesting to get into the game and see exactly how all of that works. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's react to the gameplay trailer, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Okay, here we go. I'm nervously excited.
Sometimes it feels like life could use a fast forward button. But I think what it really needs is a play button. And I'm not just saying that because I wouldn't exist otherwise. So come on, adventure awaits! When Nigel was a kid, life was full of fun. Super cool playgrounds, retro video games, even a silly game of hand shapes. I win! Wait, did I win? I've got a rock. Occasionally, he'd go off and do his own thing, which was fine. No, I mean it. As an imaginary friend, I was just like the others of my kind. It was my duty to be there for my kid when he needed me.
Cute.
But every kid grows up, and plenty leave us poor imaginary friends behind.
Oh my god.
Not Nigel. Our friendship was so strong. He made me real. No goodbyes here. Now I get to experience everything this world has to offer.
Okay.
We're all about adventure in Gibby Point, and there's none better than a getaway. Say goodbye to your everyday routine, and hello to something new. If you're not sure where to start, there are 3 unique venues ready for you to explore, where you can host or plan the perfect getaway. Getaways have a schedule to keep you on track, but some also introduce other elements to keep you on your toes, like rules.
Oh.
My memories with Nigel at camp are awesome. But I get it if you want to create something new, like a luxury bed and breakfast, say. Or maybe an evil villain social hideaway. I reckon it's easiest to modify an existing getaway since they already have built-in schedules and roles. But you can always make the days as full or
Okay.
as chill as you like. Choose where your getaway will be, how long it is, or if it's a weekly thing. And add some rules if you like.
Oh,
Want to camp with
interesting.
little
Okay,
prodigies?
we'll have to
Well, there's
talk
a
about
rule to
that
get
at
them
the
building
end.
skills faster, and another to send them packing. Who knows? Your choices could result in some formative moments for these kids.
Yeah, poor kid.
Taking the time to build her archery skills and completing this challenge could change the direction of her life forever. See, she's unlocked a new trait to help her maintain her focus. Focus? Focus! Whoops, sorry, got sidetracked there. Let's shift focus away
Okay.
from getaways and over to custom venues. Create your own, or try one created by others to get the old imagination train moving. You can design and customize it to have its own schedule, roles, and behaviors for visitors.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
And if you want, you can host all kinds of getaways there, like an amazing cooking competition. I mean, it's like it was designed for it. I just
Okay.
wanna jump in
So you
here.
can make
I've always wanted to
reality
crush one of
shows.
these challenges. Uh-oh, someone's a little competitive. Now, imagine what other possibilities are out there. Yeah, it's a survival competition with a vampire on a tropical island. Why, who's asking? Hey,
Aw.
the getaway system can take you places you'd never expect. Just sim it and see.
No way. Okay. Okay, so they are let me pause. So they are getting into the whole cross pack stuff. They only mentioned 2 this time. Outdoor retreat is not one of them. That's fine, and I'll talk about in a future video why. But let's go back over this trailer, shall we? Because that was a lot to take in. Let's start here. It doesn't really say or show. Probably will have to build some kind of relationship with the doll before you can turn it into an imaginary friend. And while this one is not my most favorite, the one with the rainbow hair absolutely is. But I love that there's like a goth version as well. That's adorable. I was very much suspecting that the playset is modular. So all these pieces, all these pieces are kind of, shall we say, stationary. Like the slide is this slide. It's just this thing. It's not like stairs where it will grow or shrink based on how high you place it. It is just this piece here with the slide coming off of it. And each one of these is probably a different piece. Like the stairs here is probably connected to this higher piece up here. Or I mean, at the very most, the stairs could be potentially their own modular piece. I don't know how else to really explain it. I can see how it's going to work in my head, and we'll definitely go over that when I do the live streams for the pack release. But yeah, it's all modular. It's individual pieces that get put together to create one big playset, if that makes sense. And this is absolutely adorable. I'm gonna have so much fun adding this all over the place. But I'm glad they included this twirly tunnel slide as well as these regular open slides. I would have been really disappointed if they wouldn't have included these twirly tunnel slides. I mean, what kid doesn't love going down those, right? And we'll definitely go over all the new objects and everything when I do my live streams and stuff. So I'm not gonna sit here and point out every single one, but it kind of looks like there are quite a few just in this image alone. Potentially a new picnic table, some new chairs here, a new fire pit, a new flag. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this image alone. And here's another look again at that. There's also a matching swing set over here. Yeah, that's definitely a new picnic table for sure. And then we've got them hanging out in a cabin here on a new bench, playing some video games on an old TV using retro controllers. So that is absolutely adorable. I love that. Those look like the original Nintendo system controllers. I love that so much. That is so cute. There's again a ton of new objects just in this image alone. The windows with the screens on them, the bookcases, the wall hangings and art, the tray here that the TV is sitting on, this table that looks like a trunk, I'm not sure if these little soda cans are decorative things or what's going on there. Maybe they were eating or drinking and sat them down. Who knows? Lights, like a dresser, all sorts of things. Not to mention the clothing here and obviously the imaginary friend. We've got the two new games, hide and seek and rock, paper, scissors as well. And you've got some options here for the imaginary friends. You can become friends to the end, send back to imaginary land, which turns them back into the doll. Imaginary boost, not sure what that's gonna be about, but say goodbye to ever. Maybe you've outgrown the need for imaginary friends. I'm hoping and I'm gonna assume that you don't necessarily have to click that option, that as your sim grows up, they will maybe just send back to imaginary land one day and then just not bring them back to life, and then that's where it ends at. I would hope you don't have to do this, specifically say goodbye forever. That's going to be such a sad interaction and animation to witness. And here's the other versions. This one's not so cute. This one's kind of creepy. This one's also very creepy, but I'm glad they included a goth version. This right here is my favorite, though. I love her rainbow hair. She's just so adorable. Maybe you have to do the imaginary boost in order to eventually make them become real Sims, potentially. That could be interesting. And it looks like you'll be able to play all the different things and do all the different things with the imaginary Sim friend. You know what that reminds me of? Okay, I just realized that this imaginary friend has hooves, rainbow hair, and wings on its back. Is this not My Little Pony? Maybe that's why I love it so much. Because it's My Little Pony. My daughter was in love with these when she was little. She had like sets and sets of them, watched all the cartoons and everything. Rainbow Dash was her name. Is this not Rainbow Dash from My Little Ponies? Kind of looks that way. Anyways, they're showing it. It's so sad. But, I totally lost my train of thought because I got distracted by Rainbow Dash. Yeah, whatever I was trying to say must not have been important. And then, of course, you can make your imaginary friend real. I wonder how that works. Do they get added to the family? And what is the relationship going to be like? That's interesting. Some looks at the world, some closer up looks at the world. We've got the dock here where you can go kayaking. You can also go fishing. We've got a little town area here, it looks like. That's a cute little model of, I assume, the town. It kind of looks that way with the dock and everything right there. But it's a cute little downtown-ish area, but also kind of not a town. It's kind of giving like this whole neighborhood is one big giant camp. Does that make sense? And then that geyser again. This is definitely some kind of not a park. We've gotten a few of these over the years where they are big areas where your Sims can go to and walk around, take pictures, hang out with other Sims, but they're not actual lots. That's kind of what this looks like to me. Not an actual lot, just a neighborhood place. And then of course the water slide and the diving board. Those are gonna be nice to have in the game now. And this clarified that not only can you set up getaways, it still doesn't clarify the sleeping situation. That's still a little bit confusing for me, but this clarifies both the custom venues and the getaways, as you can schedule a getaway and schedule what you want to do during the getaway, but also the custom venues themselves have a schedule attached to them. So you could make a custom venue gym where it has scheduled classes. So that's pretty cool. And it also clarifies the whole making like reality TV show thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. These are the 3 pre-made venues that are coming with the game. This is like a kids camp. This is like a sleepaway reality show like Love Island. I'm pretty sure that's why the name is Love Island. You can make a reality show out of it. That actually might be fun. I gotta say, I'm not super into reality shows, but it could really, looking at it in this trailer here, could really be fun to do in The Sims 4 with all sorts of things. And then we have the health spa exercise retreat thingy over here, so that'll be nice to have as well. This, I assume, it's hard to tell, maybe I shouldn't assume, this could be the lot itself having a schedule. It's really hard to tell from this. I'm not 100% sure. It does kind of look like this is the I scheduled a getaway, and these are the things I want to do at these times, though. So, but it could just be the lot itself. I don't know. Apparently, you can also get eliminated in these things. I don't know how that's gonna work or be set up or anything. I just noticed that lantern in the background. I have that exact lantern in real life. Like, I have something identical to that. It's a little bit smaller than what that looks like, but it distracted me for a second. Sorry. But yeah, you can be eliminated. So yeah, you can make full-on game shows, competitions, things like that. That's really, I like the cooking one that they show later on. I'm not into the whole Love Island stuff, but I could get into the cooking show competition stuff. And apparently you can you can create a bed and breakfast. That's gonna be really interesting to play around with and see just what the possibilities are. Also, this, which is like labeled as like a villain's hideout type place, that's also gonna be interesting to see how that's going to work. What parts of this new system are gonna be put together to make this just be a hangout spot for villains, or if you want it to be for science sims, or if you want it to be for pet lovers, whatever it is. They're just showing off villain type stuff here. But it's gonna be interesting to see how the controls work to get these lots. Like, how much of your imagination do you have to use, and how much of it is gonna be programmed into the lot. You know what I'm saying? Because we already have get together with clubs, and you can make a club for villains and make a lot that is like a generic lot, because generic lots are considered basically private but also community lots, so no other sims will show up there. But it doesn't have a schedule of event. It would just be a hangout for the club to get together and hang out and do stuff together. How does this change or expand on that? Do you know what I'm saying? Again, this is where I'm thinking we're gonna have concurrently running systems that are the same, but also different. And how can we combine these? Much like Outdoor Retreat and this. How is this going to combine so that we're not having two separate systems that are basically the same thing? Think herbalism and apothecary running at the same time, doing the same things, but completely separate. You know? It feels a little weird and not cohesive. I do like this pack though. I do wish that this system, rather than the club's system, would have been put in place years ago. This would have been way better than the club's system. It looks like you won't have to just choose the custom venue lots for your getaways. These getaways with schedules look, this is a residential lot and it's showing up. So your getaways can happen anywhere on any lot, presumably. But then also the custom venue lots have like their own pre-built in getaway schedule if you don't want to schedule your getaway, and instead you just go to that lot and participate in those pre-scheduled activities. That's gonna be weird. But also, I'm gonna reserve judgment on that until we actually get into the game and play with it, or get more FAQs about how this works, or until we see other videos from people who get the early access to see how this is really gonna play out. It does look like formative moments are going to be added in now, probably in the same place where milestones and all that other stuff is added in. I wonder how this is different from milestones. I wonder how this is gonna play together with milestones. Growing Together is not considered one of the quote-unquote old packs and old ideas. It's one of the newer packs, one of the newer ideas. So, like, that whole system is not that old. So how is this going to be different other than this is specifically for children and not for all ages, you know? And how will that interact with the milestones? It does seem like it's kind of mini aspirations in a way, watching this back. They're like a miniature sort of aspirations, I guess. She wants to become a master at archery. She did. Therefore, as an adult, she'll be able to focus longer. But will she be able to focus longer in her general life, or will it just be archery related, you know? I wonder how that's all gonna work out. And then here's the world. I was excited for a split second, and then I was like, wait a second. Okay, so here's the geyser park, and it is very much like the bamboo forest in Mount Komorebi in the Snowy Escape pack and stuff like that. I personally like that. Some people don't. I do. I like having these little nature or walking path areas. I don't use them very often in my gameplay, and I really feel like I should start incorporating them more. But in general, I like having them. They make the world feel fuller, more dynamic, more fleshed out. Even if I don't use them myself very often, I do see other Sims using the areas regularly, and that makes the world feel more alive. So I personally like having them. As for the world itself, aside from that, it is giving a little bit Brindleton Bay more generic, which is not bad. Brindleton Bay is like one of my top 4 favorite worlds ever. I love Brindleton Bay. It does kind of remind me of the area which I live in, so it's like personal to me, and so I feel like some of this stuff I will definitely like. What I'm not seeing is the distinction between like the Jellyfish Junction, the Woodland area, and the Crystal Valley. There's nothing here to indicate that this is Crystal Valley with caves. Is there even a cave? Like, I swear they mentioned a cave with crystals, but where? It's not on the map here. I mean, it could be one of those hidden things like the cave in Horse Ranch, which is incredibly hard to find even after having gone to it multiple times. But it's not. It's kind of a more generic looking world from the map page. I will acknowledge that. It is very much kind of more of a generic looking map. I do wish that this area, which looks like it's higher up in elevation, didn't have the palm trees. I understand having the palm trees down here at beach level. That makes sense, especially if it's loosely based on New Zealand. But higher up in elevation, more up in the mountains, feels wrong to me. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's natural in New Zealand for that. You'll have to let me know down in the comments. And then this seems like sort of a mid-level elevation here, and this is the only one that doesn't have the palm trees. So that's really weird to me, honestly. I would think these two areas would have the palm trees and not these. But anyways, enough of the palm trees. I'm sorry. It's just, we have a lot of worlds with a lot of palm trees in them, and it just, I want something else. I want something more northern, something that has other trees, something that isn't tropical, subtropical, like, for once. But yeah, and this is not giving jellyfish. You know, I take that back. I'm kind of okay with that. It is a bland looking map, but I'm kind of okay with it not being super themey. That was one of my complaints in previous packs, was that certain worlds and things feel too much like a theme, like they're centered around a very specific theme, and that's just not how the real world is. So I like that this is likely Jellyfish Junction down here, and there are likely the places down here where you can get the jellyfish, but it's not, you know, like the symbol is a kayak, not a jellyfish. It's not overly jellyfish themed. It's not blue and glowing and stuff. It just looks like a normal bay. And I'm gonna assume that this up here is, well, actually, this over here could be the crystal area, and this one could be the woods area. It's hard to tell, because this looks like it would have more caves and stuff in it, right? And we do have that nature, but then that's a wooded lot. I don't know, it's hard to tell from this, but actually, that might be a good thing, because it's not overly themed. You have crystal caves, you have crystal related adventures, but it's not like the whole world or neighborhood, excuse me, is themed after that with crystals all over the place. So, you know, I take back everything I said before. I like it. The map is just a little generic looking. That's the only bad part about it. I love this. I think this is a kids camp potentially, and it is so adorable. It looks like we've got a few other people here who have pre-made lots potentially that will be available on the gallery when the pack releases potentially. So that'll be nice to have. The day the pack releases, you could possibly go on the gallery and find these. But I love this. I think it's a kids camp area, and it's just absolutely adorable. I love it. I really, so here's a view of this one. I wonder what it is. It's very interesting. It's very goth, very, maybe it has something to do with vampires or life and death, like ghosts and stuff. Maybe it's a ghost getaway. It is kind of looking in that realm of things, some kind of a cult getaway. That could be fun. Then there's this cute one. This one caught my eye. This is absolutely adorable. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely very, very cute. And I can't wait to check this out. And then this is where you customize the schedules and the roles specifically for the venue itself rather than you planning an event and scheduling stuff. This brings up another thing though. If you specifically assign Sims to these roles, when those Sims die, you have to come back and reassign new Sims to that role, because there will be nobody in that role then. So that will work slightly like businesses and hobbies. So you're going to have to really be in tune with the entire workings of your entire game and constantly be aware that if Sims die, like with businesses and hobbies, the business will get closed down. In this case, you won't have, say, let's see, Beachside Bakery, you won't have a staff or an instructor or a baker. You'll have to come here and get new Sims assigned to these roles. I do love that you can schedule everything. And maybe there's a way that this builds onto the clubs from Get Together, and you can have the club get together, go on a getaway together, and have a scheduled set of activities that you do all at the same time. That could incorporate the two separate systems together in a way that actually makes sense. But I do love that we have this ability to schedule specific activities to happen at specific times on lots now. That is going to be a game changer. It's going to be amazing. I can already think of 1,000 different possibilities to add to my save files with this. And this, okay, I'm not a Love Island fan, but I could get behind doing a reality show like this. I could absolutely see myself doing a recurrent Let's Play series of Sims doing like a baking reality show and pitting my Sims against each other for this. In fact, I think that's one of the first things I'm gonna do. Okay, they do show 3 packs here. Seasons, I don't know how this overlaps with seasons. Vampires and Sulani, perhaps just because they've gone to a Sulani lot, and it's raining and there's weather, there's like super hot sunny weather and there's rainy weather and there's a vampire here. Just because they mention these 3 things, I'm realizing does not necessarily mean this is exclusive to just a couple of pack crossovers. There could be a ton of different other options as well. So that could be interesting to play out. I love this. I love this so much. I don't know why. Sul Island. That could also be fun to do too. This also kind of reminds me of those island competitions in The Sims free play that they have sometimes. I've sort of participated partially in a couple of them. I've never actually finished one, but this very much reminds me of that. That could actually be fun to do in The Sims 4, honestly. The fact that they have to survive with just the few available items out here, that could be a fun let's play as well. Trying to survive on that island with just that stuff, it does feel very much like they've set it up like the Sims free play island competition thing. That's interesting. This is also an interesting thing. I'm not sure what's going on here, but maybe it's just some kind of family getaway type deal. You know what would have been really nice to add into the game would have been like tennis courts and things like that too. Hopefully someday we do, and I'm not a sports person, so I don't know why I'm saying this, but hopefully someday they add a sports pack in where there's tennis courts and stuff. I think that would be a great addition to the game. This is adorable. I love this so much. I need to know how they built this. I want to download this and deconstruct it to see how they built it. This is one of the most adorable little lots I've ever seen. I'm gonna guess it's like an artist getaway, but that is so cute. Okay, so there you have it. Adventures awaits. No, I did it again. I'm so sorry. Adventure awaits. There are already so many possibilities going through my mind, but already so many ways in which it feels like more doubling up of systems that already exist. And I don't know how I feel about that in this particular case. I think I need to get into the game before I judge it too much, honestly. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But I am excited for some of the possibilities, honestly. I'm very excited for some of the possibilities of this. And I can't wait to start building for it. In fact, I might start building lots for it now based on what little we already know about it. It could be interesting and fun. But yeah, that is all I'm thinking, all I'm feeling, all I know about this new pack so far. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.